having one of my sort outs of embellishments and things. I've said this before, I've divided things up into these different pouches for different projects, for my planner or for card making, for making tags and everything. So this is one of the things that I'm reviewing in this session. These are the sort of things I sort out sitting down on the floor watching TV and everything. Then I've got a lot of bits and pieces that I've took out my cubby there. This is like my mobile sort of craft box that I used to take to the caravan, and I've been sorting out the last couple of evenings and just ditching anything that I'm not using, haven't looked at and everything. So I'm starting off with this first pouch of white pieces. These are be excellent to make tags, so that's definitely a keep. A lot of things that I've cut up previously to use, like this is like black and white and that sort of thing. I've decided that I'm going to get rid of probably, I would say, 1/2 to 3/4 of the pieces through this session, just because it's stuff that I haven't reached for. And like I said, if I haven't sort of looked for it or gone into one of the pouches or one of my areas or whatever in the last 6 to 12 months, what's the point of keeping things? To get to my original goal, the goal of sort of a simplified home and life, I need to get rid of a large portion of stuff in my home. And a lot of the time, places do not stay organised. You probably hear this all the time. It's because there's too much stuff. Just keep what you're going to use, what you like, and things like that. This is a good time to sort of review pieces as well, because there might be pieces that you forgot about or don't remember purchasing or things like that. I've said this a number of times. Shop your home and just see what you've got. Reviewing, decluttering, reorganising helps for a better life and an easier life, if that makes sense. This doesn't necessarily mean just crafting items. This could mean any drawer, cupboard, wardrobe, space, junk room, whatever. This could represent any part of your home life and everything, to look at what you have, reevaluate, is it something I'm going to use? Is it something that I'm going to use in the near future and everything like that? I have now actually ditched items that I had question marks on like 12 months ago, 6 months ago, things like that. Actually, I've been finding it a lot easier now to get rid of stuff. The more I seem to get rid of, the easier I am finding it. I think it's because I'm seeing those spaces now that have been decorated, got new carpets, thinned it down, how much easier it is to maintain. I've still got a few spaces in my home, namely the games room, and that will be over a week. So there's bits and pieces that are being added onto that video each day. So in between, I will be sharing these sort of things of sorting out and everything in between that one, because that way I'm sort of trying to get rid of things at the same time out of our home. That's the problem. You have these massive sort outs and it's getting rid of the stuff as much as you can. Admittedly, I've just come out back from being out with a friend, and I did make an inquiry at another charity shop that's just actually opened up close to me, actually, closer than the Bernardas that I normally go to. And I mentioned about, are they going to take items? Are they taking items now? And there's certain items like safety equipment for children. Yes, they don't take them, but they don't refuse anything at the moment. It's a really, really large shop. One of these times I'll try and film it when it's quieter so that I can show you it opened up. But they don't turn anything away unless it's a certain category, like safety kids' equipment and things like that, and for babies. So that means that every time, even if I haven't got the car, if I've got a small few items in a bag, I can just take it to this particular shop and just get rid of it rather than have it all mounting up. Also, I like to use the warm, hot, cold method. I brought this up and I've used this method all my married life, or tried to. Obviously, hot being items that you need regularly, you need to get at them easily. Warm is, yes, you need to keep the item, but don't use it regularly on a day-to-day basis. And thirdly, cold is an item that you need to keep. Maybe it's one of those keep items where it's one of those maybe items, but you can put it away at the back of a wardrobe, the back of a cupboard, higher space basically, where you're not going to go for it regularly. So you're not using the real estate, sort of as Americans say, of your home for things that you need to easily get to, if that makes sense. And I think that's a valuable lesson, because that's also helps to make it easier for yourself, your family and everything, and it's less likely to make your home messy. If you've got to get something that you know that you're going to reach for regularly and it's right at the back of a wardrobe or cupboard, you're going to pull everything out and not necessarily going to go back as it came out, if that makes sense. Everybody has their own way of dealing with items, dare I say, stuff around your home. These sort of points that I'm mentioning now are what's helped me over many years, and especially this year, to sort of make my life easier. And so I'm not spending so much time moving stuff to get to other stuff and things like that. And basically, I would like to just keep the items that I know are sentimental, useful, work, and with clothing, fit comfortably and things like that. A lot of it is self-explanatory and is common sense, as you've probably heard different ways, and things are repeated so much online, but this is what works for me. And over the years I've learned valuable lessons, maybe can be quite costly lessons as well, and I do not want to be in the position where that you buy something because you can't find something that you know you've already purchased. And that's why I try and keep like for like, keep items where you are likely to reach for them, to find them. Usually the first place you think of to put an item, that's when you're going to go back and think, yes, I know where I've put all my scissors. I know where I've put all my cards that I've made, birthday cards, different occasion cards. I want to know where I've got my sewing kit and things like that, where I can easily get a first aid kit, where I can get pain meds when I need them. This is all things, and some items I've kept in the same sort of places I've done for years because it works. I know where to find them. I know where my son can find items and everything like that. But other times life changes, things change in your life, and family changes and things like that, and that's when my systems change, or I might move things from place to place or around the home because I feel it's not working, so I have to rethink it and find a way that it's going to work for myself and my son. Also, doing a sorting out session also depends on how you feel at that time, also how much time you have. Again, something that I often say, I start one space, then I have to go on to something else, empty something else to get back to the original place that I started. It's happened a few times, but when I know that's going to happen, I do try and allow enough time. Also, depending on what session I'm sorting out, what cupboard, wardrobe, or whatever I'm sorting out, I try and have a plan, take any measurements if necessary before I start a project. Also have things like your 3 piles where it might be donate, rubbish and keep. I try not to have a large pile of what ifs or question marks, because there's nothing like getting to the end of that session and find out that you got so much stuff in the question mark pile. Occasionally I might put 1 or 2 items aside that I'm definitely going to sort out at the end of the session or during the session. Mostly to do with clothing. I think if it's something that, I'm having a massive sort out and I'm trying to be quick about it, but it might be something I need to try on, then I will put it at the side and go back. But if that pile starts rising more than, say, your keep pile or your get rid of pile, donate pile, then obviously you need to go back to that pile and really rethink it. Sometimes I've learnt this lesson years ago when I used to do this, and I used to have a question mark pile, especially if it's something I needed to ask a family member about, which you can't help. Often they used to come home and find a little pile in the middle of the lounge with a question mark on. Mostly they would say, just dump it, whether it's because they can't bother to go through it or they're just not interested, and then at least they've said they don't want it, so it's easier to get rid of. Now, especially at the beginning of the year, I do the 7 items per day for 7 days. Always have a box, bag or something so that family members can throw things in that they don't want. Even if it's maybe at a weekend or something, just spend 5-10 minutes, ask each family member to try and put at least 1 item in a bag or box and get rid of it straight away if possible, even if it's a little walk or something, a nice day, and get rid of it. This is what I used to do when my kids were little, especially when hubby used to work away a lot. If I was having a bit of a sort out, we'd go for a walk, get rid of the stuff or whatever like that. Or as I'm doing at the moment, we have family and friends come to my home, and the dare bet they'll go away with something or another. It just means that it's less for me to actually go out the home and get rid of. Other times I have a segment where I might put it in the boot of the car. If my son hasn't taken that particular car, I will put it in the boot of the car so I know it's in there ready to get rid of. But it's not a permanent landing place. This is what I say about ketchup bowls. That's something else that we have around our home. Used to be for change, maybe jewelry that I've taken off and things like that. It's not a permanent place. It's just a temporary measure, and it's not permanent. And to go back to that and make sure that does not get cluttered up. It's nothing like having a whole bowl of what's names. You know what I mean, and bits and pieces and thingamajigs and things like that. I do have a bit drawer in my kitchen, and I have one of those like little tackle boxes, I think you call them, that I find little pieces that might have come out of a game or counters or those little tiny bits that have come off something, and I put them in that tackle box and I regularly go to it. Or if something's missing, I go to that tackle box and think, there it is. There's the piece that's missing. Say, like a piece out of Monopoly that's for some reason got separated from the game. I can go into that tackle box and there it is. Usually I can find whatever I want in that box. Again, the junk drawer, I try and keep it down to a minimum because I don't like it escalating. It's got to be pieces that there's a possibility you are looking for or you'll need. If it's just plain rubbish, then obviously it can just be thrown out. But sometimes I've found things around the home, I'm not sure what they are. I do have one area, and I've brought this up a few times. I've got a container of keys. and padlocks and things like that. Keys that I'm not sure what they belong to. Hubby used to say, I know what it belongs to, I know what this is. And a lot of keys have got key rings on, so I know what they are. But some of these keys could be for padlocks, locks, or even say suitcases that we possibly got rid of years ago. We haven't used suitcases in years since we went abroad. I do have my small weekend case, but I never lock that because we don't go on a plane or anything. But you can understand what I'm saying. There may come a time whereby we haven't reached for them and they can go. I know you can make collections, make I don't know, some crafting or something with them, but at the moment they're not hurting anything, and I've just got them in a container and kept all the keys together. So if for any reason there's a key that's missing, I'm thinking, now where's that gone, I can go into that container, and hopefully it might take a while to go through them, but they're all in one place. That's what I'm saying about keeping like for like, putting things where you can find them. It's like batteries, that I've got a battery box where I keep all my different batteries in. I've also got a box where I put my old batteries in so that I can get rid of them. I either take them to the tip when we go to the tip, or a lot of places, even Lidl now, take old batteries, so you can go shopping and you can get rid of your old batteries. I know a lot of supermarkets like Tesco's, they do like ink cartridges, old makeup, crisp packets. It's surprising what you can get rid of. So if you can categorise those into different sort of sections, then when you go to your supermarket to do your food shop, get rid of your batteries, get rid of your crisp packets, makeup, whatever, and you'll find it a lot easier. Just getting rid of bits and pieces now and again from your home will all mount up. I've been meaning to do one of these videos for some time, so when I was filming this, I didn't put any sort of voiceover at the time or talk about what I was doing. I thought this is actually the time to put my thoughts on this video of how I sort of review things, declutter and organise and look at things. Now, I promised myself whatever I get rid of, I'm not going to regret. That's the only thing. If there's something that you really are strongly about, as long as it's not excessive and it's a lot of things that you've put aside to think, no, I cannot face getting rid of that, then don't get rid of it as long as it's not excessive. Obviously, as you've probably known, I've dealt with bereavement, 4 bereavements in the last, just over a year. And one obviously being my husband and my mum. And bereavement is a bad time. Some things have been a lot easier than other times. It depends on, I can't even say the day, it could even be a moment, and the sentimental things obviously and the photographs are some of the things that are really, really difficult, especially the photographs. I've put that one off so long and I still cannot face it. It doesn't matter that photographs around our home of the family, of my husband, of myself, of us as a couple, because they've been around our home always, then they don't bother me as much as going back over photographs from, say, our engagement, wedding, photographs that I haven't seen for some time. That's when it really hits, and they're the items that can be really, really difficult. And I put my hands up and say, I'm not innocent in this either. I am not perfect, and that sentimental place is a difficult one, and only you can answer the questions if it's something you really need to keep or want to keep. If you've got the room and cannot face it, and I've got this at the moment, then obviously store it until you had a time to deal with it. I have got mantins. I've got two actually for my two sons that I'm slowly putting pieces in that belong to their dad, and I've split them. This is old coins. It's like his watches, cufflinks, things like that, things that are sentimental to him that I don't want to just obviously cannot give away, but I want them to remain in the family and to go to my sons, and then it's up to them to deal with it themselves. So hopefully this has helped you. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.